Hey, what's happening, all you mechanical maniacs? Here's Quayzar here, and welcome to the car editor. That's right. Rockin had challenged me to build an all-wheel drive tow truck. So, using this 56 Ford as a template from a Dead Bob 777, I reconfigured it from his regular config. I copied it. I renamed it as HQ Custom All-Wheel Drive. And then today we are going to build it. All right. So first things first, when I usually like doing with this is like taking the body out. We're going to go ahead and take the engine out for right now because I need to see suspension and all that. So now for a all-wheel drive, I've looked for a few options, right? I have looked for a few options. One of them being for the suspension back here, the rear center suspension. The GTR is probably the best bet. And then sliding in with the GTR powered there, and GTR powered there. These are actually, it looks really nice on here. So that's what I kind of went with. Got the springs, got the shock absorbers. Now, the only problem with this is when I start lowering this, right? Let's put the body back on it. When I start lowering this back down, see right there, you've already got the shock absorbers poking through. So that's going to be a challenge for me. Seeing as how this is going to be all-wheel drive, we're going to actually lower it as well. And that's one of the things we want to do right now. So let's get down here, take a look at this. Let's go to suspension. And we are going to go with the height. Playing around with it, I think a 0.25 is sufficient, maybe. Yeah, looks like that'll be. So 0.25 in the back as well. That kind of looks like, let's go 6. Let's go 4 in the back. We'll go 3. Just kind of give it just a little bit of that. Okay. With this, it looks like that's pretty centered. That looks like that's pretty centered. So that's okay. So now that I've lowered it, look what comes through the bed. Yeah. So that's kind of a problem. We'll kind of address that in a minute. All right. So now that we have the body, we have the GTR type rear end on here. Yes, I'm going to have to fiddle around with the drive shafts and all, but that's okay. All right. For the front end, we are going to go, let's see if I remember right. Where is front powered? Oh no, we want the, this is the center. Powered 3? No. Short powered 2? No. Nope, that's not it either. There we go. That's the one I'm looking for. Either that one or short. No, that's not that one either. That's not it. Okay. Powered 3, no. Short 2, short 3. No, it's not none of those. 6, 7, 8. No. Powered short. I don't think I had this drive shaft on here. That's why I was like looking at it. Shouldn't have had it. I did have one. This is the GTR. And I would use that, but look, the drive shaft doesn't quite make it back there. So you'd have to like move this sucker, but you can't really move it. So we're not going to do that. Short 5. I think this is the one I was going to use. Short right there. Okay, so we're going to use that for our wheels. Wishbone short. Yeah, because what I want is to match up my arms, my inner and outer tie rods. So we want to go wishbone short, done. So that's all matched up. Nope, that's wrong too, because that should be double wishbone short, powered. Okay, so it's not. What am I doing here? Okay. Wishbone power 2, 3. Which one's getting changed here? 4. 4 is the connection over there. Then over here would be 4 as well. There we go. So we got wheels connected to the driving unit. Everything seems to be connected there. Yeah, don't worry about that bad boy right there. That's going to have to come up a little bit. Okay. So far, so good. We've got everything lowered. Now, what we need to do is the drive shaft. Let's connect drive shafts. The primary drive shaft is this one right here. We're going to have to bring it up a little bit, bring it back. Now, I don't know where the engine is going to sit, so I'm going to have to play around with that. So right there, we're connected. Once we put the engine in, we're good to go. Now for this one, this next one, let's add a bonus part here. Let's go parts. We're going to add, and we're going to go down here to drive shaft. All right. We'll find it right there. It is, right? There we go. And we're going to what, like 180 here. Yeah. So 180. Nope, not 90. Puts it right there. Now we're going to drive it down, drive it back. Take a look here. We're going to connect it. We're going to connect it to the back first. It needs to go back a little bit. There we go. Okay, are we fairly connected? Oh, we're pretty close. Not exactly the way it should be, but okay, how are we looking? Yeah, pretty close. Okay, so how far are we from this one? Okay, so we are a little off on this one. So drive shaft float value is 1. That's fine. Doesn't give me a length. Damn. I was hoping it would give me a length, and it does not. Can make it bigger. Float value 2. Make it a bigger drive shaft. So let's make it makes everything bigger. So let's go 1.25. Let's do that. Let's see if I can drive that sucker home. Okay, 1.25 is going to be too big. So 1.2. Man, I can't believe I got to redo this every time. Okay, let's take a look and see how close we are. Not entirely close. So it'll have to be 1.5 maybe. Let's see, where is that located at? That's pretty close, but we're gonna go 1.1. Lob it in there a little bit. It is a little difficult to play around with this, so it does help to get used to the controls, because controls can be a little screwy. All right, we are super close. I think if we went 09, I think we'd be in the money. Then it'll be a matter of lining the sucker up. So this is going to be the most difficult part, is the drive shafts. The drive shafts are going to be a little difficult. They always are, to be quite honest. So we're going to go. Now, this won't be available anytime soon because I have to reach out to Dead Bob, see if it's okay if I publish this sucker. So yeah. Want to make sure he's okay with it. Okay. Now, let's see how far off we are up front. We are pretty freaking close, man. And we still got a gap. All right, so 10 it is. Just going to go with that too. I should have. I didn't. All right. But yeah, this is going to be a lengthy video because it does take a little bit to configure these things. I mean, come on. Gives you some appreciation for these modders. Okay, that looks pretty close. How far off are we up here? Yeah, we are. Damn. Okay, so 1.1. So 9.5 maybe. Let's see how this is going to play out here. Oh. 0.95. That I was wondering why this thing was so big. You have to watch your numbers, people. Watch those numbers. All right, so we're going to connect this up. Get a better frame of reference here. It's pretty close. Okay. How are we up here? This looks like we've got pretty much, man. Okay. I wish it would stay still. Go 7. Oh, 9, 7. We did 9, 5. To a better position here. Okay, are we up here? Now, I know it's not perfect up here. Yeah, still. 9, 7. Go 9, 8, I guess. 9, 8, 5. We'll go 8, 5. Okay, this is going to be the last attempt and then we're going to move on. So, because then I can tweak this out later. Just so that you can see that I am attempting to put an extra drive shaft in this stupid thing. Okay. Man, that is still not there. But that's fine. Rotation, X, Y, Z. I were to go, how does this go? 1? Nope. 0. Damn it. Okay. Let me take a look here. Okay, so 3 is 0 straight. Okay, what's 3 here? That line up. Okay, that turns it. Okay, so we'll just put 0 there. Now, if we go 90, what if I go 92? Aha. I need to go 87. Yep, need to go to 87. All right, so that's pretty much how we're going to lay this out. This is going to be, we're going to go 9, 9, 2. Blow this down. I should be pretty freaking close. Now are we back here? All right. So maybe not so much off. We are still a little shy. Go 9. Go 8. Go 8 on that. Well, I did promise I was going to move on from here, but as you can tell, this takes a little bit of time, and as you can tell as I'm moving stuff around. Let me position this bad boy. Where are you? That's pretty close. Okay, how are we back here? So you can see there's just a little bit of a gap there. I guess I'll go 1.1. I'm going to go 1.1 on the scale, and then we are going to tweak and tweak and tweak on this a little bit later. Okay, we'll get it into a primary position, and then I'll mess with it later. All right, so we've got our conception here of an all-wheel drive truck. It's a little bit bigger than I want it to be. But it's still not where I want it to be. But anyway, we're going to move on. Okay. We've got the height, right? So let's go check the body. Got the height. We know what we're going to do with the height. We can change wheels and tires real quick, but I will tell you, with this body, there's not a whole lot of room underneath here. So what we're going to do is go with the wheels. Rear wheels, we're going to go with the slicks. Okay. Going to go with the slicks. Width, we're going to go with maybe let's go with the 295 maybe. Because we'll go 16, profile being 45. Okay, see how that looks. It's sticking out just a little bit. And the problem is going to be, it's going to stick out on the inside here too. So we're kind of stuck. We can go with a 275 maybe. Yeah, that's going to stick out too. But how's it looking up here? See, the narrower and narrow, we can go with a 265. It'll be some cheater slicks or something. 255. How about 255? Nothing. Yeah, nothing on the inside. Nothing on the outside. That 45's got to be a 50 though. There we go. Okay, so we still looking pretty good on the inside. Okay, so we got cheater slicks on the front. And we're going to do the same on the front because we're going to go 255. Keeping the rim size. What do we do down here? 50. 50 up front. And we're going to go with the slick tire C. That might do it as far as a drag truck. We're not cutting into too much. I mean, you could put some massive meats on it, or I could have went and got one of the others, one of the other configs that he has. The drag truck, he has a drag truck, which is way better than what I'm doing here. Okay, so we've got that kind of set up. Now let's go ahead and save this config for right now. I just want to save it just because I tend to screw things up, so I just don't want to mess anything up. Okay, lowered. I mean, we could change the rims on this sucker. We can go, I don't know what kind of rims we want, because you have to go through each and every one of them to figure out what they are. Honestly, those are the Steelies. $39s look bad, not too bad, so we'll go with 39s. Now, if we wanted to change these, we could go with an 18 on here. That does change things a bit. I mean, you can tell that is just about barely cutting through. That is cutting through. Now, and I don't know if it's cutting through. It's not cutting through here yet, though. But that's okay. What we can do, it's not cutting on that. It is cutting on that side a little bit. So what we can do with that is the suspension with the track. Track is a 04. We'll take away that 4. Let's see how it goes on the inside. Oh, we're good. Okay, so we took away that 4. We've kept them inside. Kept an 18. All right. I think that looks pretty decent. Now, if you don't like these rims, of course, we could put something different on there, of course. believing that should do it. That should do it. Okay. Now, a couple of things I do right off the bat. Exterior license plate, front license plate. Dummy. Get rid of that sucker. It's gone. I don't like them. So that's gone. Hit save. Got things going. For the exterior. Yeah, that's for the exterior. Parts tuning. This is where Dead Bob's got all kinds of tuning parts to it. So we can, by all means, come down here to, where's my trunk? My clamshell. There's my clamshells. All right, so rear 2 clamshell. Rear 2 clamshell is a painted bed, whereas your rear clamshell 1 is a wood grain. 3 is black. 4, it's got the bed on it, which I like, which is nice on the drag trucks. 5 is the tow rig. And I think with the tow rig on there, it doesn't look too bad with that stuff in there. So we're going to leave that on there. And then what you have to do, you don't have the cable. You have to go down here to tailgate, the trunk. It's trunk 7. So we're going to open up the back. We'll have the tow truck out there. There you go. That's tow truck. Now, if you want the lights flashing on here, go up here. And we'll change this to clamshell 6. Now you get flashing your lights. But I'm just go ahead and put 5. Okay, tow package is in. We've got the body where we want it to be. Now it's going to be engine time. Now it's all engine compartment stuff. First and foremost, we need to figure out the engine. So let's go engine. I have a pretty good idea of what I want to do. In the spirit of having a Ford truck with a Ford engine, I really wanted to do something. Okay, I wanted to do something like this, but I don't think it's gonna. That's 4x4 will not work because it's just too dang big. The Coyote engine is interesting. Coyote engine is 463 horsepower, 573. I'm sorry. 573 torque and 463 horsepower. But there is this Cobra jet here. Or where is the... This is LA. Yeah, I don't know what that one is. I have no idea. We're going to do small block racing front. So this is the racing engine for the front end of it. It does not have a fan on it, which is good, which is okay by me. Let's go ahead and take a look to see how this is going to set up in here. All right, so as you can tell, our stuff is just, it's cutting through all over the place. Crazy. So let's raise the motor. We can raise the motor as much as we can, which is up to there, which really screws up our pipes too. See where our pipes are? So let's go over here to parts. Let's look for our down pipes. Down pipe starry 1. We want to go to down pipe starry 3. Oh, no. Down pipe starry 1 is the longest. Yikes. Yeah, that might be. Oh, nope. Those are even longer. So we'll match those up. We'll kind of figure that out as we go. All right. Drive shaft. Our main drive shaft. Where the heck did that drive shaft go? Thought I had it down there. The heck is it doing up there? I'm looking at down there. Okay. That should stay. Holy cow, I can't believe that moved. Okay, so my main drive shaft is this one right here. We have to do a drive shaft here. Gives me float value, gives me length, and all that, which is fine. So length value, we need to shorten that bad boy up a little bit. Okay, 6, we'll go 5, nope. 4, nope. 3, 8, that's pretty close. But problem here is if we show the body, right, and explode the car, look where the transmission is. Transmission is all about that right there. And the engine looks like it's a little far forward. So let's move our engine a little farther forward, because that's going to cut right into this sucker down here. We're going to have some, no, not too bad. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and move you up just a little bit more. There we go. All right, so with the, let's see, show the body. How much is sticking out? That's a little bit sticking out. So what can we do with the engine? Okay, well, the engine, we can tilt it, right? So we can rotate it. That is, solid numbers are going forward tilt. So we're going to go a negative, we'll go with -3. And that's a -5 on that. -5 gives it a little bit in there. We've got a way to fix that. Let's take the body away. Let's take a look to see what we have underneath here. Okay. Now we can move the engine up a little bit farther. We're still clear with everything. Looks like I can bring it down just a touch. We may clip a little bit. There we go. Now, what do we look like inside the body? Still in there a little bit. Are we centered? We should be centered. Yep. The engine's big. We got a scale of 1.27, which helps with the torque and the horsepower. It's only 354 horse. That's okay. We're going to add some old school crap with this. All right. I can bring it down. Let's see. Bring it down a little bit more. Let's see what the body looks like underneath here. Yeah, see, we're cutting in right there. But really, it's not too bad. Right? It's not too bad. Let's go ahead and take this exhaust system. Kind of match that up a little bit. Your exhaust system has to match up with the scale of that. Otherwise, you can make it a little smaller, a little bigger, but what's going to happen is the pipe's going to look a little smaller or a little bigger than what you've got going on here. And because I've got the engine tilted, go to parts. I don't have the option to tilt it, I don't think. I might. Fuel tank, exhaust old, starry. If I were to tilt you, oh, that wasn't right. Rotation 1. Can't tell which way it's rotating. Okay, that's up. So go a -3. There we go. So a -3 on that. We'll match up those pipes, right? Now, got the engine pretty much where we need to be. There is still a little bit of that showing, right? but that's okay. I've got a resolution for that. Let's see. I need to take it a little bit farther forward. Can I take it? Can take it a little bit farther forward. What I'm going to do is I'm going to replace you with something else. Battery, radiator old. I want, it's called cooling. Cooling 2. There we go. Cooling 2. So bring that up a little bit. Now I can bring the motor up a little bit farther, right? I can bring the motor up a little bit farther. And then I can take a look inside here, and there's only a little bit showing. I can actually tilt that motor a little bit more. That was a negative. Let's go -7. Can I get it, squeeze it in there? Yeah, it's a little bit better. And from the side, it doesn't look too bad. All right. Underneath, we're cutting through here a little bit, but that's just the nature of the beast, unfortunately. Bring it up a little bit farther, but I think that's the only thing that's going to cut into me. All right, so engine parts, go down here to sorry, pipes, position, we're going to go -7. Yep. And then we're going to match them up. All right, done with that. Drive shaft. Let's go ahead and get the drive shaft. I'm going to show you a little trick what we're going to do to hide that little piece right there. Let's see. Let's go to bonus parts, and we are going to get rid of that piece. This piece. This piece right here, we are going to make a these are bonus parts, so you can get these from the workshop. Okay, we are looking for tub. So right here's a tub, right? This sucker is huge. Okie dokie. This is going to go 0 because we're going to do it this way, right? And then hopefully you can paint this part. I'm hoping you can. Float value is how big it's going to be. So we're going to go 0.1. See how big it is? Aha. So now we're going to take this sucker down here. Just going to slide it up a little bit. Get down in here to see what we got. And we're going to, boom, cover the transmission. Make sure it's kind of evened up. Slide this back as far as we can until it shows. There we go. Aha. Now, if you take that piece and you take it and you paint it black, no one will ever know. Okay. Done on the inside. Okay, so we're done with that. Now, the next step that we have is the exhaust. So let's show the body. Now, the exhaust is all the way out this way. What we can do, let's do the drive shaft first. So drive shaft, the length is not where we need to be. We need it a little bit longer. 4, 5. There we go. 5. Then this is always difficult for me to try to remember which one's which on this. So this is going to be that does tilt it down. So we need to go 3. Right. We'll go 3. Length. Nope. Yep. Let's go a little bit farther into it. We're going to drop this down a little bit more, 0.5. Nope, nope, nope. I got to go 2.9. 8. 7 is pretty close to center. Come back here, check out all this stuff. Yeah, this stuff looks like it's pretty well done. Fuel tank. Our fuel tank needs to be changed. So we are going to take our fuel tank. We are going to, let's go to parts. Fuel tank. It's already small. Let's go 0 and 0. Okay. This sucker is going to be behind the seat, just like any others. Let's see. How can I rotate? Nope. Okay. There we go. Now what we're going to do is show the body. Kind of squeeze in there. We're going to slide this up. Doesn't show in the front. Doesn't show back here. And what does it do down here? I'm not seeing it. Good deal. All right, so we've got it pretty well positioned right. All right, exhaust system. Let's go. Okay, the value is 1. So we're going to go 1.2 because our engine is 1.27. So our exhaust needs to be about the same. So 1.2. Okay, so both are there. So let's go ahead and we'll highlight one and bring it up and attach it. See how it goes. See, 1.2 also makes it lengthy, brings it out a little bit. Now, with this suspension, it's going to be kind of hard to clear all this crap. So what I want to do is kind of bring it up a little bit. Well, it's kind of up okay. All right, so that's fine. Okay, let's go over here to this one. Bring it down and up. Going to connect it as much as possible. We've got so many bad angles on here. It could, it's kind of hard to tell. Let's take the body out of it. Yeah, I'm so way off. Connected. Okay, so as far as you, oops. Go to the other exhaust. Okay. You're going to have to come over, in, and up. There we go. Exhaust system is aligned. Show the body. That looks pretty good. That's right there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is what we have right now. Some other things we could do with this. We're going to hit save on this real quick. We could change the external color. So if you wanted to do that, change the color down here. Go ahead and change the color. We'll kind of make it an orange. Save it. We'll copy to the clipboard. Save that. So we'll make it a little orange, right? I'm not fond of the wheels. Just not fond of the rims. So let's go. The rim DLC may be. Yeah, I like the 207s. We're just going to go with 207s. I like them. They look cool. It's kind of old school. It's just not really a dragster looking tire, but that's okay. All right. And with that, we got to do a couple other things here. What we need here, battery location's fine. That location's fine. We need a coolant. Okay, we need parts. Add. We need a coolant container. Cooling. No. Cooling. To reservoir. Yeah, a little small one's fine with me. I don't care. We're going to stick this bad boy right up here. That in the way of something? It is. Or maybe. No, we don't want two. I think one is the round one. Yep, round one. So yeah. I'm all for the round one. Kind of stick that one in there. Kind of looks like it fits in there. Okay. What else can we stick in here? Well, it's going to be upgraded, so we are going to add ABS. So let's go ahead and add our ABS system right there. That looks like a good one. It's good to me right there. So ABS. To give it a little bit more of that oomph, what I want to do, don't know if it'll let me, but we could put an ECU in here. So we'll put ECU 2 because that's the one I want. We're going to make you 90. Nope. 90. Yep. 90 degrees. Thing's going to be a terror. Stick it back there just for any apparent reason here. Where is the fuse box actually? Let me put this with the fuse box. Where's the fuse box at? I think it's underneath the dash. Yeah, our fuse box is here. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go 180. Nope. 90. 90. 180. Nope. 270, right? 270. There we go. 270. 90. What I want to do is make it look like it's connected into the fuse box. So, and then I'm going to reduce this down to 0.5. There we go. 0.5. Boom. Right there, baby. Sneaky. Okay. Okay, so that piece isn't there, but if you go with the bonus parts, it is going to show there. So when you do that, or you can paint the transmission black, either way, that's going to be there for it. All right, explode car. Looks like we've got a possible nice drag truck going on here. So let's see, explode the car again. Engine in there is pretty good. I think with all the performance parts plus the ECU, we might be able to get some pretty good horsepower out of it. But there's one other thing we could do. In the engine, we can make the float value a little bit bigger, right? And it will increase our horsepower. So right now we have 354 horsepower, 474. So 354 horsepower at 474 torque. What I'm going to do is off camera, what I am doing is opening up the file for this thing. If I can remember where it's located at. All right, so our config file here. This is the config that we just worked on. I had to close out of the game. Right here, engine torque mod right here. I believe you can kind of finagle this a little bit to give ourselves a little bit more horsepower. So right now I'm going to go 1.5 on this, 1.5 times. I'm going to save it. And this is the HQ custom all-wheel drive. Saved it. Okay, now we're going to go back in the game and see what the horsepower and torque is. All right, we loaded back in our custom truck, and as you can tell, that ratio has increased. So we're looking at 520 horsepower, 680 pounds of torque. So if we were to, well, we would adjust that back up to probably about a 1. We'll take it to a 2. And we'll have 1,000 horsepower in this thing for a drag truck. We want a AAA. We want top of the line A rating on this thing. Even at 1,000 horsepower, we should be able to get a lot. We can get 145% max tuning out of this car. Between the ECU, exhaust, and all the engine components, should be able to get it pretty close to 1,000 horsepower. But what we'll do is I'll go in and I'll edit it just a little bit more. So be right back. All right, with the engine torque mod at 1.5, we're going to bump that up. We're just going to make it 2. We're going to make it straight up 2. We're going to file, we're going to save it, and then we're going to go back in the game. All right, back in it again. We'll go down here to all-wheel drive, and let's see what we got here. Good googly moogly. There we go. 887 pounds of torque, 695 horsepower. To me, that's going to be enough because if you put all the parts into it, I think you're going to have it up to at least 1,000 horsepower. All right, so a couple of things else we need to do. Can I do it in here? Probably not. Tuning, exterior, no. Logic, no. Crash test wheels, other. Allowed colors. Door angle, float value. So you could have changed, we could have changed the torque mod right here. So instead of going into the file, so we will change this up to a 2.5. Watch these numbers. Whoa! All right, we got 1,094, 869 horsepower. So we're going to keep it at 0.25. There we go. 782 horsepower, almost 1,000 pounds of torque. I believe that's going to put us into that rating, right? We are going to make this 4x4, 4x4. So it's going to be an all-wheel drive vehicle. All 4 wheels are going to be rolling. got all that situated. Jobs minimum, allowed colors, barn salon. Okay, you can't buy this in a salon? Heh, my butt. We are going to buy it in the salon. Okay, let's go ahead. I forgot to put that in there. So let's go back to tuning. I thought I saved it with this. So trunk 7 and clamshell 5. There we go. Now we've got it all set up. There we go. Save. There you go. One badass tow truck right there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to be it for me for today. Seeing as how we did make this into the salon, we can go buy this thing brand new and see what it does on the test track. So why don't we do that real quick? All right, one other thing I have to do is to make sure this goes well, we have to add the tuning parts to the config file, so the body config file. So we want clamshell rear to be clamshell rear 5. We want trunk to be trunk 7. Okay, we're going to take the front end out. We don't need that. So there we go. We don't need that space. So clamshell equals clamshell 5 and trunk equals trunk 7. That's what we want. So we're going to save that up. Save. We're going to take another look at another config here. Yeah, this is what I tuning. Okay. Yep. All right. We're good. All right. Let's jump back in the game. All right. Let's go into the salon and see if we can get ourselves a tow truck. Car salon. Let's go. All right. It's car salon here. We'll just truck right on over here. See if we can find our truck. There we go. HQ Custom All-Wheel Drive. Oh, look at that beauty. Yeah, baby. I think I like her in black. I think I do. It's either black or red. I think black. Select it. All right, now let's go buy this puppy. How much is she? $122,000. Holy crap. Take her to the garage. See what this bad boy can do. All right. Look at this bad boy. All right. Right now, she is toting. She's got 0 miles on her. Badassery. 782 horsepower. All right. 731 pounds of torque. What we're going to do is we're going to send her over to the dyno. See what kind of drag rating we can get out of this thing. Doesn't have anything custom. I have a custom ECU installed, but we can change that. Correct? We've got the ECU is underneath the dash, right? So let's remove that. And we're going to add a. Let's get ourselves a tuning part. ECU. Stage 3. There we go. And we'll put that bad boy in. What can we do? Actually, what else can we hide here? Just some stuff here. So let's take any parts on this bad boy. I think I would have to put it up on the lift. Change out the exhaust system. Add there. Okay. Yeah, that thing's got to be up on the lift for that. All right. Let's see if we get just those 2 pieces. All right, 800. Okay, so we're close to the top end rating on this thing. So yeah, we could definitely take this bad boy out to the track. Drag strip. See if I can remember how to run the drag strip now. All right. Quick pick. Let's go 1-on-1, quarter mile. Oh, dear God. All right. Let's see what we do. Let's see here. Throttle, handbrake. We probably needed a different gearbox in this bad boy. But she's in the 8s. Oh no, she's got 10s. 10.3. So that's see what else here. That's geez, drag rating 802. Tuning, I've got 12% tuning. They've got a 7.12%. They've got standard tires. Yikes. So we got smoked on now. All right. We might be able to do this one. We might be able to if I can get the shifting points down. That's gonna be the thing. It didn't want to shift for me. All right, where am I at? 10.5. So 10.5, a little bit of tuning on this thing at 800. We can get that thing up, way up there. Okay, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna head back to the garage. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be it for today. All right, so much for. Oops, I swapped up with the Nova. I didn't want to do that. So much for the config of the tow truck. So there you go, Rockin'. We have created one massive tow truck. So yeah, we should be able to do some pretty good things with this. This will probably end up becoming the official truck of mine. I love that engine in there. So I figure with all the performance parts in there, the performance exhaust on her, we should be able to get it pretty good. Unfortunately, can't get the tires any wider than what they are, but yep, that's about what we got. All right. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you learned something with this config, and I'll talk with you all soon. This is Quayzar saying good night. I'm out.